All right, we're back live with this wrap. I still don't know if it is going to turn out right. If it doesn't, I'll just cut it off and keep on trucking. We will see how this turns out. And if I don't like it, like I said, I'll cut it off and do it again. I think I have figured out why uh, I've had wraps not come out right. And the visual wrap and visual weave program that we use does not use the actual size of the thread. So whenever you use the calculator, it doesn't calculate in that size. So it's more of a, until you're super proficient at it, it's more of a trial by error. Hey, Brandon, you're usually the first one on. That's the only reason I said it's Brandon. If it's not, I'm sorry. I figured it was you. I had a buddy that I haven't seen since high school came into town, wrote me on Facebook a while ago, and showed up right after I got off of here. So we've been out visiting. He's still out visiting with the family out around the fire. But told everybody I'd be on here, so this is where I am at. Got one on here anyway. Let's see. One up. One pass. And one more one pass. This is man, this wrap is something else. It's cool looking though. I hope so, Brandon. It would be nice to see everybody over here, but if you didn't catch what I was saying, man, these wraps have not been coming out right. And like I said, the size of the thread is not in the calculator. So I calculate them, and then I go to wrapping them, and all of a sudden everything is way, way, way too tight, and threads start overlapping. And I think what it is whoever came up with the thread wrap calculator did not factor in the size A, B, C, or D thread. Size D. But if this doesn't come out right, I'm going to transfer over to a size A thread, and I'll rewrap this whole thing. This is one of those wraps that looks like it takes forever, but it doesn't. Like would you watch me do it for an hour and 7 minutes a while ago, I think is what the time was, and I've got 2/3 of the way through it already. So if it starts covering up this charcoal gray, I will know that things aren't going right. All right. Awesome, man. I'll have to figure out how you can do that, but you can post as a guest on that page. It has actually I can look at visitor posts on there. We got guys like Bernard Ray wrote me a minute ago, and he hasn't been able to comment on this yet. And I told him once he has a membership and he subscribes, he'll be able to comment. But you have to have a membership and subscribe to the page. And that's what Chad figured out earlier. Chad said that he couldn't chat with me until he actually had a subscription to the page. Hey, what's up, Brian? Dude, if anybody on here is not subscribed to Buyer Boys Outdoors, or Buyer Boys Outdoors, you need to. They've got some pretty good video footage also. Brian, what I'm doing is I'm doing a red and gray scale wrap. But I was saying earlier in the video, I don't think, and in fact, I know that's what the problem is. The calculator that I use for my measurements, it's a thread wrap calculator, does not take into consideration the 4 different main sizes of thread that we use to do thread wraps. And I think that's why I'm coming out long on my wraps. So if this does not come out right, I'm going to cut all of this off, and tomorrow I will go back and run it with the smallest size thread that we use. So I am going to actually, because I had to pay for that calculator, I might contact the maker and see what it would take for them to add that factor into the measurement, because every other measurement is in there. The diameter of the rod at the front tip and the butt of the wrap, and the length of the wrap that you're doing is factored into it, but the thread size is not. So if you've got a thread wrap like the flag wrap that I did on that other rod, I don't think it'll come out right. I've just done that flag wrap enough that I know exactly where it's supposed to go. If you see me messing around with the computer, it's because I have got to go back into my other program, my visual wrap program. And make sure I've got my thread count right. It would probably behoove me to, Brian, it looks like a lot of work. And I was just telling Brandon that a while ago. Got some stinking flies in here. It cooled down and they found a place to come. But I was just telling Brandon a while ago, this has only been like an hour, so if it takes me off screen 45 minutes to rewrap it, then it doesn't bother me to have to redo it. What bothers me is the fact that I purchased the proper calculator to be able to do these wraps and get them measured out exactly so they look good. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because that's what bothers me about the whole deal. It's not the fact that I have to cut it off and redo it. It's the fact that because of not having that factor in it, I have to cut it off and redo the whole wrap to make sure that the scales look right. And this isn't really called a scale wrap. It's actually it was actually a gray fade. But I went into the program and I changed the colors so it would give me the proper coloration for the color that the guy wanted on the rod. This program is stinking incredible. I can take any wrap that anybody has seen. I've got over 100 wraps in the system, and you can send me a picture of the wrap. I can find it in the system and change the coloration on it to anything that you want, and it will come up to that color, and everything will be precise on it. And that's not the program that I'm having problems with, because all of those are incredible. The one I'm having the problems with is the actual calculator that gives me the length, and it gives precise measurements like 42.45 millimeters. I mean, it really gets all the way down to what you're supposed to have, but because it doesn't have the thread factored into it, I keep coming up long. So if they could get with the people that came up with the calculator, could get with the man that came up with the program, the visual wrap program, it would be amazing for all of us. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying to do weird and exotic thread wraps. It just means I'm going to have to rethink how I'm doing it. I actually have an engineer here who came in and looked it over for me, and he thinks that's exactly what the problem is. That's actually my buddy who's out there right now visiting. He's a software engineer. Dude is incredible. We've actually, he showed us some pictures of some movie, upcoming movie costumes that he's designed that are being used in the movies. They're pretty slick. He designs that stuff, does photography, designs high-end machinery, robotic machinery. Been really cool to sit down and talk with him. Guys, if this is not looking right, if this does not work out tonight, I'm not going to be on here too awful long just because I have company. I will come back on Monday and we will do the big drawing at the beginning of the week instead of the end of the week. Well, I said, guys, I don't know if Brandon or Brian is the only one here, but I've only got one person watching now. Oh, no problem, Brandon. I was just saying if this is looking like it's not, I can tell by looking at it. I mean, it may look cool from where you guys are at, but something is not. This is not right. Um, yeah, hey Brian, they're custom wrap and all 235, shipped and insured. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about not looking right because I'm fixing to stop. And I'm going to show you because both of you are the only ones here, or one of you is the only one here right now. Now, I want you to look at this. Don't take into consideration this is not part of the wrap up here. This is just all excess from this point right here forward. This calculator, I'm going to show it to you. And I don't think I should have ever changed the way I was doing. It's called the taper offset spacing calculator. Right? It tells me in tenths of a millimeter. I don't know if you can see that or not, if it'll focus. But it tells me in tenths of a millimeter where these need to go. Now, if you look starting right here and coming all the way down to right here, you can see, even in the distance that your video is, that this one is way smaller than this one. And then this one is off. And a lot of that, you know, I need to pack some thread. So I'll give it 1 or 2 threads. But when I get to here, this is all packed tight. And then it gets bigger, and then smaller, and then real tiny. This should not look like this. This should look like, and I'm going to pull my camera off, and I'm going to show you what it should look like when it's done. Maybe. Guys, this right here is what that should look like when it's done. There is no way that I'm going to fit what you just saw and make it look like that into the measurements that they gave me. It's not going to happen. Am I right? Y'all got to see that, right? or at least Brian did. I mean, does that make sense to you guys? That wrap right there, as it sits right now, right here, should look like what you just saw on the computer screen. And I'm going to keep this live feed posted. I'm going to post it whenever it's over, just so everybody can see that. But this is all going to be cut off. Every single bit of it. So what I'm going to do, get a fresh razor blade. Now I might go live tomorrow. I'm not sure. If I do, it'll be in the evening. Measuring stick. But definitely Monday. I may just come out here tomorrow at some point and start wrapping. See if I can measure it out the way I used to measure when I did these wraps, like when I did the flag wrap. I don't have any problem. But for some reason, when I started using the taper measuring program, they all started coming out like that. So, and I may mess around with it and go to like a size, this is a size D thread. I may go to a size A thread and see if it comes out right. But I'm doing live feeds, and there's no sense when I'm doing a live feed for me to have to go through and cut off 50 yards of string. And there you have it. That whole beautiful looking wrap that right there, whenever I finished, I found out was not working right. And it wasn't a finished wrap by any means, but it was not working out. So, like you said earlier, Brandon, you get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. There was the bad. It wasn't ugly. It was just bad. And just like that, an hour worth of work, all done. So I'm going to go out here and visit with my friends, and we're back to a blank slate, all because the measuring system didn't work out. And that's the second time it's done that to me. You guys didn't get to see the first one, but I wanted everybody to see this one. So I'm going to contact them and find out if they can put that in there. But it'll only take me about 45 minutes to get back where I was at. So we will talk to y'all either tomorrow night or Monday. We'll see you guys. Love you all.